What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're taking a look at the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from the year 1990, the year I was born. Alright, I'm going to waste no time. I'm going to get right into this because I can talk forever about the original TMNT movie. I love this movie. Growing up as a kid, this was my first exposure to the Ninja Turtles, and since then, I have been a loyal fan of the Ninja Turtles. I adore this movie. This movie is not going to wow you. It's not going to make you rediscover your life choices. What it is, it's a damn good, cheesy, fun, good time. It knows what it is, and it has fun with itself, and it has fun with the concept. And you can tell that the people making this movie, they were having a good time making this movie. This movie, the original TMNT movie, is something that I would describe as having a gritty, light-heartedness to it. It has elements of the comic books, the gritty nature of the comic books, but it also has that light-hearted nature of the original TV show, particularly with the Turtles' personalities, their love for the pizza, and the colorful bandanas. But it also has the grittiness of the comic books, where it has a seriousness to it in some areas, but it never loses that light-heartedness. It's a really good mesh of serious tone and lightheartedness all rolled into one. Like when the turtles are on screen, it's lighthearted, it's hip, it's fun. But when it gets to the Shredder, it's intimidating, it's serious, and it's threatening. And I think Steve Barron, as a director, did a real fine job at finding a balance between the two and really meshing them really, really well. This movie never has any tonal problems, to me at least. I think it's very consistent all throughout. Uh, the cast in this movie is the strongest point. All four actors who voiced Ninja Turtles all did a brilliant job. Brian Tush as Leonardo, fantastic. He has that right amount of leadership quality to him. Josh Paez as Raphael, he has that take no nonsense badass that Raphael has. And Toshi and Paez have a really good chemistry with one another. This movie explores the rivalry between Leonardo and Raphael and what they have. How, yes, they're brothers with love, but they have conflicting ideologies. Leo is the leader. Raph is more of the take no prisoners, let's just do it right now type of guy. So they have personality clashes, and it works fine. It's great. I love it. Michelangelo and Donatello, Robbie Reese and Corey Feldman, we voiced them respectively, and they provide more of the comic relief in this movie. Michelangelo being the surfer dude, and Donatello being much the brains. If I do have a criticism, Donatello's brains, the Donatello being the more intelligent turtle and being the tech expert, it's not fully explored in this movie. I mean, they hint at it here and there when he's helping Casey Jones fix a car, and when when the Foot Clan are attacking the turtles at Abel O'Neill's house, he's like talking. Listen, I don't think that this floor over here is structurally sound for all of us. Like the movie kind of throw hints at it, but it doesn't really fully explore it, which I think was a wasted opportunity because I would like to see more of that. But other than that, performance-wise, they all work great off of one another, and the turtle outfit is a good mix of rubber suits and animatronics. And for its time, it looks great on screen, and it looks great now watching it. It's good special effects, and the fact that these suits were very, very nimble for what they were. This movie has really well choreographed fight sequences, and the turtle suits they look really good in motion. They don't look they I can imagine them being very, very cumbersome, but they have a good fluidity to them. So props for Jim Henson on his creation. Great stuff. Uh, Other things I like about this movie. Kevin Clash as Splinter. He's fantastic. Kevin Clash brings that fatherly presence that Splinter has to the Turtles, and it's all genuine with the love that he has for the Turtles and vice versa. It's great stuff. Especially when Splinter is telling the story of Oroku Saki to the character of Danny. Speaking of Oroku Saki the Shredder, before I talk about Abel and Casey, I love Shredder in this movie. To date, this is the best representation of Shredder on screen. Like I said earlier, he has that serious intimidation to it. James Cito, who plays the Shredder, is outstanding. He's just the right amount of seriousness to him, where he's not hamming it up and he's not being over the top with it. He has the intimidating presence, and the look of Shredder in live action looks goddamn so cool. And when the Shredder is fighting the turtles on the rooftop, and he pretty much kicks all their asses and dominates. And I like how the movie waits to the last 10 minutes to have Shredder fight the turtles. We don't see Shredder do anything all throughout this movie, which I like because they save him for the last because they save him for last. And when we see him fight the turtles, it's finally like, oh wow, the turtles. This is like a legitimate threat they're going up against. They ain't gonna beat this guy until Splinter comes in and saves the day. And I like how they connect Shredder and Splinter story wise. How, you know, Splinter was the pet of his master Yoshi until Orokusaki killed his master, and Splinter, scarred the Shredder's face, and then Shredder, chopped off Splinter's ear. So I like how there's a connection between Splinter and Shredder and how it's personal for them. And I also like how this movie explores the origin of the Turtles and how Splinter tells April the story of the Turtles. Speaking of which, Judith Hogue as April, like the Shredder, this is the best representation of April in a Ninja Turtles movie. Judith Hogue, to me, captures who April O'Neil is. She is that sassy, determined reporter, but she can also handle herself when she's caught when her back's against the wall. At first when we see her, yes, she's the damsel in distress, but when she gets attacked once again, she fights back against the Foot Clan, and I like it. And not only that, Judith Hogue gives April some personality. And I think Judith Hogue works as also her chemistry with the turtles works fine as well. And I buy the scenes where they're bonding together and really forming the friendship. Great stuff. Also, Elias Koteas as Casey Jones. Elias Koteas will always be Casey Jones to me. I love Elias Koteas as Casey Jones. He's fantastic. The first scene where when he and Raphael are taking on muggers and then having having some playful fighting amongst themselves is great stuff. And then when Casey helps the turtles and April escape April's house after being attacked by the Foot Clan, that's great too. And then Casey bonding with the turtles when they get to the farm, particularly that with Donatello, great stuff. And I think the romance with April O'Neil and Casey is really underdeveloped, is actually subtly developed. Like it's not an in-your-face thing. Like the movie doesn't drag its feet with a romance between April and Casey. It kind of teases it and hints at it, and it lets it slowly develops until the end where you get the payoff where April and Casey finally kiss. But all throughout, Casey's just a badass. I like his one-liners; they're hilarious. And his fight scenes, he's great too. Awesome stuff. The cast of this movie, I can't praise these people enough. It's such a good cast. Production wise, this movie is not breathtakingly shot. It's competently made. Steve Barron is not a visual artist by any stretch of the imagination. This is a journeyman's job behind a director's chair, and that's okay. That's really okay. He gets the job done. The cinematography in this movie, yes, it's standard, but that's fine. It's competently made. It's competently shot. There's no dynamic visuals to this movie. It's just pretty much straightforward. But for a movie like this, it works. This movie doesn't need to have flashy cinematography or these over-the-top grand spectacle visuals. It just needs to be straightforward and straight-laced. And to me, Steve Barron gets the job done with the material, and he brings it to life, and he shows respect to the material as well, in my opinion. And also, now we get some final notes. There are a couple of side characters who I actually like as well. I like the character of Master Tatsu, who's pretty much Shredder's right-hand man. He's like this silent man who's just, and I love when Casey kicks his ass at the end. And the police chief Stearns, I think, is absolutely hilarious, and I like the little tension that he and April have, where April's constantly breathing down his neck, and he just gets completely pissed off with her. Hilarious stuff, funny stuff, well-integrated comedy in this movie. So yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything there was to cover with the original Ninja Turtles movie. If I missed out anything, whatever. Those are just, I said what I wanted to say. Yes, the original TMNT movie is getting a perfect 10 for me. 30 years later, and I still love this movie. It still gives me joy every time I watch it. That's how good I think this movie is. Perfect 10 for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.